We have a special guest. We have Shiyu, co-founder of CyberConnect. He's going to tell us all about his amazing project. They've recently launched on Solana. They have many ways for you to participate, and we're all very, very excited to have you here. Welcome, Shiyu. Thank you for being here.
Sure. Thanks for having me. Thanks for organizing this whole event. Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit about the project. Give us an intro for those that came unprepared and didn't read the documentation that we shared around. And of course, let us know a little bit about your journey. How did you end up in crypto and especially in Solana? That's a niche environment.
Yeah, I'll just give you a brief intro about myself and my team. So my name is Shiyu, and I graduated from NYU, and me and my co-founders, we actually a serial entrepreneurial team, and our last project was started back in 2017 in Silicon Valley, and the project was called Lino Blockchain and dLive. Now, Lino Blockchain was one of the first decentralized content distribution blockchain built on top of Tendermint and Cosmos. And dLive.tv was the first application, live streaming application based on blockchain and based on Lino testnet. And we grew our user base from 0 to over 1 million daily active users within 6 months. And we also onboarded PewDiePie, who is the largest YouTuber in the world with over 100 million subscribers. And at the peak, we had over 100,000 live streamers on our platform. And we sold our project to BitTorrent back in 2019, and we finished the deal in early 2020. And our whole team actually rested for a year, and I went to Wharton for MBA for a semester, and then I came back to China. And in last year, we started the new project, CyberConnect. So CyberConnect is a just another story about how did my came into this space. So actually, back in 2017, when I was in junior year in college, at that time Bitcoin was on hype, and that was when Bitcoin caught my eye. So I got into Bitcoin, and I was first doing arbitrage with my current CTO Ryan. He was doing an internship in Instagram currently back then, and we were doing arbitrage because the price difference between the Coinbase and the China exchange was over 10%. So simply we're just writing programs to doing the arbitrary thing back then, and made a little bit of money. And then I actually wrote a final thesis about Bitcoin. So that's how I officially started getting into crypto. So after graduation, I just co-founded the first blockchain startup with my other two co-founders. And then I will tell you a little bit about CyberConnect. So CyberConnect is a decentralized social graph protocol. By social graph, we mean that basically the connection, or simply speaking, the following relationship between address or identities. So that's it. So the reason why I got into Solana, I think that's simple. I think Solana in the last year is definitely the rising star in the space, and we've been witnessed a very fast growing of the whole ecosystem, and I believe in the future, the Web3, the world will be a multi-chain world, and definitely out of the EVM ecosystem, I think Solana is the definitely layer one in this space.
We definitely agree on that, and I'm really happy that you actually started from the Cosmos ecosystem, because I'm also a huge fan. I also came from that ecosystem before going to Solana, and I totally see your vision of a multi-chain world with every chain having its own applications and its own user base and serving a certain niche. But let's talk a little bit more about what a social graph is, and how what does a protocol on top of that do, and how like, does it facilitate connections from other social networks or other schemes like that? Uh, is it something
Sure.
that you're building from the ground up, like a Twitter clone or a GitHub clone? What's like? Put it in plain words so everybody can understand it.
Yeah, sure. It's interesting that when we talk about social graph protocol, we cannot find the equivalent in the Web2 world. There are many Web3 social projects. They're building decentralized Twitter or Web3 Twitter or Web3 Facebook and Web3 LinkedIn and so on. But it's really hard for us to really find the equivalent in the current world. It is because we are actually building an infrastructure for the Web3 social. And we believe the landscape of the Web3 social space is going to be totally different from what we've been seeing right now. And currently, we can see that the social graph, simply speaking, is your friends on your Facebook and your following and followers on Twitter. And we know right now it's controlled by those big companies and in their backend server. And it's really hard for users to import or export their own social graph to another space, because I mean the whole social graph is the core asset of Twitter and Facebook, and based on their business model, it's really hard for them to share data with their competitors. And we believe that in the Web3 world, the story is going to be totally different. It is because we have the different account system, like your Ethereum address, Solana address, and the digital asset and NFTs on your account is universal, and the account system is universal. You can take those assets with you, as well as your data, your identity data, and as well as your social graph data. So that's why we believe we're building a social graph protocol catering to the principles of Web3, which are self-sovereign data, decentralized, um, portable, and composable. So that's why we are building the social graph protocol called CyberConnect. So essentially, we are you can just simply regard us as a decentralized open database, just providing the specialized in the social graph data to provide the social graph connection for all the Web3 developers. Or simply speaking, we are trying to be one of the core components for the Web3 social apps. So for example, any Web3 application such as gaming, NFT marketplace, as well as the decentralized Twitter, any app that will have a social connection part, we want to be the infrastructure of it. So simply, the developer can use our protocol to write and read the connections of any address in the Web3 world. So that's it.
So can you give me like I really love the concept, but can you give us some examples of dApps, Web3 dApps that are actually connecting? Some examples on the Ethereum side and some examples on the Solana side. At the moment on my screen, and I'm showing this to anybody watching from Twitter media or so not Twitter, sorry, Twitch media or YouTube. I can see that it's connected with my um, Twitter through the Bonfida naming service, and it shows my domains, it shows my votes from the Solana governance program, and it also shows my NFTs in a really neat way, I have to say.
Yeah,
So I
yeah, that's a
assume
good
these are Web3 dApps that are actually you've connected to. Any more examples? Anything that's coming, or some examples on the Ethereum side of things?
Yeah, sure. That's a very good question. So one common misconception about CyberConnect is that we're building a profile system for each blockchain ecosystem. For example, we launched the Ethereum profile web app as well as the Solana profile web app. We're not actually building those apps, but instead we're building a protocol, a infrastructure for that. Or simply speaking, the web app we're building right now is actually one of the early apps that adopts the CyberConnect protocol. we're just building those web apps to just showcase or visualize the connection, your connections are some CyberConnect. So our strategy is very simple. I mean, our long-term vision is trying to be the infrastructure for each application. So which means we're gonna partnering many developers in the future. But I mean, to bootstrap the whole ecosystem and to showcase how the protocol is actually going to be in use, how to interact with the protocol. We just roll out the simple web app of the of the blockchain profile just to showcase to the users as well as the developers that how the connection going to be displayed and how the user flow and the user experience will be. So our strategy is on the one hand, we are trying to talk with as many developers as possible, and on the other hand, we are trying to launch our own interface to users to bootstrap the initial database. So right now on the Ethereum ecosystem, there are multiple applications actually implemented as, for example, so like the Treasure Land. Treasure Land is one of the largest NFT marketplace on BSC, and our partner Galaxy, they roll out another product called Galaxy ID, which simply displaying all the credentials of an Ethereum address. And you can also follow another address on Galaxy ID. And another project is called Unipass.id. They're also integrating us and use us at a part of their credential score. So there are also many other apps because our infrastructure is based on Ceramic, and the Ceramic is a big ecosystem, and there are many social apps building on top of Ethereum. And because our infrastructure is universal and is easily compatible with other apps within Ceramic, and in the future there'll be more Ceramic apps that will integrate CyberConnect protocol. I would say there are like 5 to 10 applications on Ethereum ecosystem actually implemented us, and there are about 20 to 30 applications on the way of integration. And we're new to the Solana ecosystem, and we believe that the Web3 social applications on the Solana base is still in the very early space. We've been talking to several prominent projects, Solana projects, such as Dialect and Jabber, which is the chatting app built by the Bonfida team, and as well as some other social applications. Most of them are still in the early development stage, and we'll be definitely working with them, and we'll be partner up in the future, and they will integrate CyberConnect.
I see. And I also noticed you have another product called CyberChat. Is that part of your suite of products, or is it from a partner? Is it also something resembling to what Bonfida has built?
Yeah, sure. That's a good question. So CyberChat is actually a in-house product built by our team. The reason it's still in the alpha testing phase, but the reason we're not like pushing it to the market is the reason we're building it is because I think the messaging part is the direct utilization of or usage of the social connection. So if you connect with someone, definitely, obviously, you want to chat with them, send a message. So that's the reason we're building CyberChat. But after building these products, we found out that it's really hard to actually get massive adoption out of this product. Currently, we don't have enough bandwidth to put resources on it to actually implement our go-to-market strategy. So we're gonna do it step by step. So especially we are expecting the bear market is coming, so we can actually rest and focus on the development in maybe the next 6 or 12 months, so that we can roll out more products in the future.
Yeah, it was one of my questions as well. All these products are super awesome, and I can see that you guys are real builders. But onboarding is also a huge and very important part of the success. And the question is, what has been so far more difficult, coding those uh, applications or onboarding users? I see that you are quite successful on the Ethereum side. You have over 400,000 users.
Yeah.
How does that
So
look? Is it successful? What kind of metrics do you expect? What how many users are already connected to the infrastructure?
yeah, so for the just for the clarification, so the data you see on the Ethereum profile, which is the over um 200 200,000 users and 21 million 400,000 users and 21 million connections. That's for the
Exactly.
our recommendation algorithm. So actually, our protocol actually are divided into two. So the first part would be the based on the IPFS and the ceramic. That's the writing part. You can regard it as the database, the raw database, or the quoted blockchain where the actual connection data is written. And the other part is actually something like the indexing layer. And in the indexing layer, we put all the recommendation algorithm based on top of the open data of your previous transactions and your connections on other platform, which are not on our protocol. We gathered it into recommendation algorithm, and we have different recommendation algorithm catering to different sectors of the app, like NFT, gaming, and social, and so on. So, and we're also building the indexing layer because of we like to facilitate the reading process for developers. So, for example, as an Ethereum developer or Solana developer, you cannot directly query the data directly from blockchain. You need some indexing layer to actually aggregate the data from the blockchain and
And this is
provide a
something you're
hidden
doing
to
yourselves. You're not
yeah.
using another partner like the Graph or something like that.
Yeah, that's a good question. We're not using Graph because Graph is a smart contract event-based GraphQL API, and most of all of our data is user-centric data, and it's like an actual graph, not the GraphQL, but it's an actual graph based on user. So the data structure in the database is different. Like in the Graph project, they're using SQL-like database, which is a key value pair. But in our database, there are like the actual graph is stored in our database. So we can very conveniently run any recommendation algorithm based on the social graph. So that's the difference. So we're simply speaking, we're building our own indexing layer.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Yeah, as you said, it's going to be an actual graph with users. It's going to be like a tree, a family tree, a user tree, from what I
Yeah,
understand.
that's right. That's right.
Uh, how does that work on the Ethereum side? Is every connection a transaction? Does that burden the users with so many transactions, expensive transactions on the Ethereum network?
Yeah. So the connection itself is actually not stored on the Ethereum blockchain. That's too expensive. And instead we're storing the connections in the IPFS and and our protocol is building on top of Ceramic. And Ceramic is actually providing a DID framework, and we're storing our social connections within the user's DID framework. That's how we do it. So simply speaking, the storage cost will be fairly cheap.
I see. And then signing a transaction on Ethereum does not cost anything, so that helps things. On the other side, on Solana, I'm using a Ledger wallet. I assume you have some issues as well. Grape has, all the project have with Ledger, since I'm trying to follow someone, but since I'm using my hardware wallet, and Ledger hasn't developed signing through on Solana, it doesn't really allow me. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah, I
That's a
believe
bummer.
that's definitely an issue that I think Ledger will solve in the future. I think definitely, I mean, in the future there will be more and more applications who would like to utilize the authentication part of your wallet instead of actually sending a transaction to the blockchain. But I think that it's pretty prevalent in the Ethereum space because putting on any transaction on chain is expensive. So many Ethereum app actually using the signing function of MetaMask as well as the Ledger wallet to authenticate a user. And in the Solana ecosystem, I believe this question definitely going to be solved in the future.
Yeah, hopefully soon it's gonna happen because it's a real block for the hardware wallet users. Any plans on onboarding more Web3 applications from Solana? Any alpha you could give to the audience? Any upcoming partnerships or announcements?
Yeah, right now actually we put out the partnership on our website. For example, we're talking to Really.pro, which is a Solana-based metaverse, as well as Dialect.to, which is a address-to-address chatting system based on blockchain, based on Solana. And we're also partnering with Jabber. As I mentioned previously, it's also a Solana address-based chatting app. And we're gonna integrate with those projects, and hopefully our connection database will help them bootstrap their initial user base.
And any more L1s that you're looking to expand on? Maybe other than
Yeah,
Solana, Ethereum, and BSC?
yeah. Actually, BSC is even compatible, so we're technically we are right now supporting any EVM compatible blockchains. So other than EVM compatible blockchains and Solana, we don't have any plan in the short term because I think EVM and Solana are the two largest ecosystems in the space. And most of the social and NFT and gaming happen in those two big ecosystems. And other than that, for example, like in Cosmos and Polkadot, we barely see any social or gaming products in those blockchain ecosystems. So, I mean, in the short term, we're not going to expand into any other L1, but in the long term, definitely yes.
All right. Awesome. Now let's talk a little bit of how we can participate on that. I see there is an NFT campaign running at the moment, and any like how does one can get involved in all these beautiful things you're building?
Yeah. So we really appreciate our early adopters and supporters of our protocol. And that's why we're also doing campaigns and rewarding user with NFTs without any cost. And currently, I can talk about more about the Solana campaign right now.
Yes,
The
please.
Solana,
That would be super helpful for the audience.
yeah, sure. The campaign on Solana is pretty simple to follow. I mean, if you go to our website, which is so.cyberconnect.me, and connect with your Solana wallet, and you will see your Solana profile. And on your profile, we actually display several things. First of all, your Solana name service, if you have one, and your Twitter handle, if you previously verified with Bonfida. And we also display your on-chain governance votes, which happened on Realms today, which is a Solana governance on-chain protocol where you can vote for different DAOs and protocols. And we also definitely we display all of your NFTs. So that's a component of your Solana profile, and you can search by SMS or Solana address to find it, to see any others address profile on our website, and you can also follow any address. So the campaign we work with Galaxy is pretty simple. It only requires you to verify your Twitter on Bonfida, and the second requirement is just get 5 followers. That's it. And if you just meet those 2 requirements, you can get our first exclusive NFT issued on Solana. So the whole campaign will last until, I believe it's February 19th. So there are about 20 days to participate in this campaign.
Awesome. Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. Is there any way we can send the link to people to follow us? Is there a direct link, or they just need to go to sol.cyberconnect.me, make their profile, and then search through the user list for the people they need to find?
Yeah, you can just if you go to your own profile and copy the URL, and you can simply share to others and let other to follow you.
Oh, nice, 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 nice. I'm at the same time as we were speaking, I'm exploring the beautiful profile, and I'm wondering on how I can also for myself claim that NFT. So all the information you just told us are extremely useful, and elaborate a little bit more on that NFT. Are there any plans on that NFT? Is there any use case, or is just a a badge of honor for participating in the early days of CyberConnect?
Currently, it's just a badge or a proof of participating in this campaign. But I believe in the future, when we are doing a token launch, we'll definitely reward those early adopters.
Wow, that was a big alpha. That's I'm gonna cut that part and then make it into bold. Thank you for that information. Very important information. Any more info on that? Maybe like tell us a little bit more about what are your plans with the coin? You had a very successful raise in November 2021, if I'm not mistaken. You raised
Yeah,
$10 million through two amazing venture capitals. The two leading venture capitals, and then of course you had a bunch more amazing partners. Did, was this an early sale of a future sale of coins? Uh, can you
yeah.
elaborate? Tell us more on what are your plans on that? Maybe a timeline of events that we should expect.
Sure. So about the coin, we'll definitely issue the token in the future, but we haven't decided when yet. And I think we're in the very early stage, and our whole team is preparing for the long-term development of the whole infrastructure thing for Web3. And maybe unlike any other projects, they are launching token in several months after launch, but we may take our step slowly in the beginning because the whole infrastructure and the ecosystem is still in the very, very early stage. So we're gonna just build our solid ground. Right after that, we're gonna launch token. And right now, we're also raising another round of investment, and we're closing soon. And hopefully, we can announce the investment pretty soon in the future. And for the token, we haven't figured out the specific plan yet. But I mean, the bottom line is we just want to build a solid infrastructure. And currently speaking, we don't think the infrastructure is fully prepared for the future explosion of the Web3 application. For example, we're building on top of Ethereum and building on top of Ceramic, and the Ceramic launched their mainnet. I believe it's about 3 or 4 months ago, and CyberConnect is the largest application or protocol building on top of Ceramic, and we actually took down the Ceramic mainnet for twice because of our large traffic. So I think the infrastructure is not as scalable as we imagined before. So we're also closely working with Ceramic team to help them doing scalability, also the upgrade of their protocol. So after all the basic work and the ground base is built, is well built, and we'll consider launching the token.
Awesome. And any thoughts on that token? Will it be for governance of the protocol? Will it have any connections with the revenue or the profitability of the protocol? Maybe it's not something solid, but maybe you'll give us a taste of how you perceive of things, how you're thinking about this.
Yeah, sure. So we actually have multiple plans or thoughts about the token design. First of all, it's definitely going to be decentralized and DAO based. So it's definitely going to be a governance token. And on top of that, we're also considering about adding a indexing fee model for CyberConnect protocol. You can, it's somehow like the graph. In the graph system, it's actually they're building a curation and the indexing layer and a fee model based on top of the protocol. And since we are a user-centric data indexing layer, we can also launching a similar fee model based on top of the indexing and the curation part. And since we're still early and we don't have enough partners or projects involved in our ecosystem yet, and we're gonna see how the demands and the supply gonna be of the token gonna be in the future. And after that, we can finally decide what our token model would be.
Yeah, sounds that you are doing this really seriously and you're taking your time. You don't want to rush things. I appreciate that. I think the rest of the community also appreciates it. Rushed token issuance can really be disastrous for a project. So take your time, do it the right way. I
Thank you.
think
Yeah.
it's a very positive aspect. And regarding the superb raise that you did, any portfolio synergies from the VCs that you are in contact with that excites you? Any shout outs to builders of the space or anybody that has helped you or has been resourceful at least in the ecosystem?
Sure. That's a good question. So in our last round, we actually our leading investor including Multicoin as well as Animoca Brands. I think Multicoin helped us a lot because they are a big player in the Solana ecosystem, and they help us a lot to connecting with the projects as well as provide the basic information and guidelines of how to build a protocol. And Multicoin is also the largest stakeholder of the Graph protocol, and we share some similarities with the Graph protocol. And based on the roadmap and the whole development of the Graph, as well as the success, and Multicoin actually consulted a lot on these projects and gave us a lot of experience of their team, and that's very helpful. And another very big investor would be Animoca Brands, and Animoca Brands actually has a lot of games under the company, including the Sandbox as well as a bunch of games, and they also invested a lot in a lot of social NFT and gaming projects, and I believe we have many synergies with his portfolios.
Yeah, amazing. Multicoin has been a superstar. We also have Multicoin as our lead investor in Grape, so I totally understand what you're saying. Animoca is also a huge player in the blockchain based games and all these play to earn ecosystems and metaverse related projects. So yeah, amazing synergies. Bravo. What
Thank
about
you.
any real life events that are happening around the world? Are you going to be present anywhere that we could maybe come and see you or chat with you guys? I know there's an event happening in 5 days, starting February 1st in Utah, in the US. It's called Mountain DAO. It's going to be Serum. There's going to be lots of Solana projects.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. Actually, half of our team actually based in Asia, and half of our team are based in the US. I believe my US colleague will be very interested in that.
Awesome. I hope to see you there. I hope to channel some of our of the audience to actually go there, because we're gonna have lots of people from the Grape community attending that conference. So hopefully we can meet there.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Last question that I saw from the audience. It has to do with, I'm going to go through some more questions actually from the audience, has to do with open source. What's your take on open source? Are you planning, or have you open sourced anything? What's the philosophy, what the team's philosophy on that subject?
Yeah, good question. So we actually have a GitHub, and we actually open sourced out the alpha version of Protocol, and as well as including our JS package of the front end. So I mean, the open source and decentralization will be a gradual process, and especially when the ceramic, the network of our infrastructure is still in the upgrading process. We're helping them to build the infrastructure. So we are actually open source our code one by one. So as well, and another huge part of protocol will be the indexing layer. We're also exploring what's the right standard uh, of the indexing structure will be, and gradually standardize the whole indexing layer and open to other developers in the future. And the short answer is yes, we'll definitely be fully open sourced and fully decentralized.
Wow, nice. That's I honestly thought you would guys be completely private, but that's that really adds to the whole decentralization ethic that we're all pursuing.
Thank
So
you. Is there more
from
questions
what
from
I
the
see,
audience?
you've actually answered all my questions. The last thing that maybe we didn't stay at all is, what has been harder, coding or onboarding users?
Yeah, that's a good question. So from what I've been seeing, I think I guess it's equally difficult because I've been in this space for over 4 or 5 years, and I've seen a lot of changes in the space. So previously, actually, before the DeFi summer and NFT summer, nobody talks about Web3 because hardly no one can actually use MetaMask or MetaMask like wallet extension or like Phantom or something. Almost no one. And it is because DeFi and NFT onboarded millions of users to Web3. That's when we talk about that's that's why we're here talking about Web3 social. And because of that, I think onboarding the Web3 users to a new app would be easy. If you deliver the well-designed and well-developed product, I think the early adopters of Web3 is gonna like it, no matter, even though you do no publication or do no marketing. If you're building a great product, and there will be a lot of users. So I think onboarding the Web3 users is easy, but the hard thing would be how to convert the Web2 users to Web3.
Yeah,
And
excellent answer. Excellent answer. Yes, that's exactly the mission of how we're gonna get all these users out of those private databases and bring them to the decentralized open ledgers.
yeah, that's right. So I think that's also one of the mission of the Grape Protocol to onboard more users to Solana. So yeah,
Exactly. We're also a Web3 application. Exactly. So we totally understand the mission.
yeah. I think onboarding the Web2 user to Web3 will be a long and a gradual process. I think because the entry barrier is higher than previously, because you have to ask the user to know what the wallet is, what is cryptocurrency, what is blockchain, and memorize the seed phrase and keep it safe, and so on and so on. So that's really hard. I mean, that will be a long process. I believe it's a collective work to onboard more Web3 users. And we've seen miracles like DeFi and NFT. And I believe I'm definitely very positive and hopeful for the future.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. You mentioned This is my closing question. We've already gone past the 45-minute mark, but I'm really curious to ask that. You mentioned briefly that we're entering a bear market. This is more of a personal question. Is that your personal view? Of course, not financial advice. Nobody out there should take financial advice from random people on the internet. But could you elaborate, since you've lived and breathed those markets? What's your take? Where are we going? Is it a
Yeah.
Solana, or is a crypto wide? Is it a worldwide bear market? Is it going to be short, long? Give me your insight.
Yeah, in my own humble opinion, I think the bear market will be worldwide. It is because the money policy of the U.S. government. Yeah, I think in the macro level, the taper thing and yeah, all the stuff is gonna definitely lead to a bear market in the future. But personally, I'm all in crypto, 100% all in, and I'm not afraid of like going through all the bear market because I was in the space since 2017. I've been seeing the last bull market and went down and going through the whole bear market from 2018 to early 2020. So I think that's very hard, but I think the next bear market is not going to be as hard as the previous one because we've seen many large institutional investors come into this space and a lot of builders and a whole lot more believers of Solana, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. So the bear market is gonna be shorter and not as bear as the previous one. So I'm pretty hopeful. Just I'm holding my coins and yeah.
Totally agree. Totally agree on this one. I think the players are different. The amounts are different. The market cap levels are different. So yeah, I expect higher lows, a shorter bear market, and I totally agree on your worldwide, all economies kind of bear market, kind of recession due to inflation, due to all the money supply, and all this disconnected narrative that we're living through with COVID, and stock markets in bubbles, and while people are suffering. So yeah, I totally understand your view. I support it. Of course, these for the viewers, these guys we are just two people expressing opinions. This is in any way financial advice. So please don't follow any of what we're saying. As you said, I am also 100% into crypto, and I am also keeping my coins. And I'm looking forward to the Web3 revolution, where applications like what you're building and like what we are building are gonna thrive, and are gonna be are gonna be more successful than their Web2 equivalents. So yeah, thank you so much, you, for being here, for explaining what you're building, and for clarifying how people can participate in CyberConnect. We will explore it also together with the stream, with the audience during my stream later tonight, and very excited to see what other applications, Web3 applications from Solana and from Ethereum and from any other blockchain that you're working on, are going to connect. Looking forward to everything. Honestly, thank you so much for being here. Is there
Thank
anything else that you would like to tell the audience? Anything that that you're before we close? The stage is yours.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I think I had a great time here tonight with all of guys. And yeah, I don't have anything to add on at this point. Yeah, I wish you all have a good day or have a good night wherever you are.
All right, guys. Thank you to the over 130 people watching us from YouTube Media, Twitch, and on the Discord stage. For the lucky ones that are on the Discord stage, I've taken several screenshots of the audience. 5 people are going to receive 100 Grape each. This is going to be on your Grape connected wallet, so the wallet that you verified with Grape, and of course, the weights are going to apply. So if you have a higher rank in the Grape community, you'll have increased chances of winning. And again, thank you all. Thank you all for participating, for watching, and for helping me source the questions. Again, see you. Thank you, and I hope we're gonna speak again when once you're closing to that coin IDO release, whatever is that you're gonna be planning when the time comes. I really hope we're gonna sit down together and talk again.
Sure. I hope that too. Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody. I'm gonna be closing the stream, and I'll see you again in 3 hours, 3.5 hours. That we'll be doing the main stream. Take care, everybody.
Thank you. Bye bye.
For the lovely people on the other platforms, we're gonna do a short stream later on. I mean, stream on stream. That's meh. See you again. Thank you so much. I'll be announcing the winners of the raffles. Take care.